Klay Thompson just got put on the trade block by the Dallas Mavericks, and the team almost everyone assumes wants him back. The only franchise he played for across 13 seasons might be legally blocked from signing him at all. Here's what's actually happening. 3 real teams are circling a 4-time champion with 1 year left on his contract. The Miami Heat have money set aside. The Lakers have a real package on the table, and Golden State, the sentimental favorite, is running into a salary cap wall that could rule them out completely. Start with how he got here. Thompson spent 13 seasons in Golden State, drafted 11th overall in 2011, and became half of the Splash Brothers alongside Stephen Curry. 5 All-Star trips, 3 championships built with Curry and Draymond Green as the core of a dynasty. For his career in Golden State, he averaged nearly 20 points a game while shooting over 41% from 3, one of the most efficient high-volume shooters the league has ever seen. Then, in June 2019, in the middle of the NBA Finals, he tore the ACL in his left knee. He missed the entire next season recovering. Then, during a pickup run while rehabbing and getting ready to return, he tore his right Achilles too. 2 separate season-ending injuries, back-to-back. By the time he finally stepped back on an NBA court, roughly 941 days had passed since his last real game. 2.5 seasons of his prime gone before he ever got hurt playing again. He came back in January 2022 and won a 4th ring that same season, arguably the most improbable of the 4. But by the summer of 2024, Golden State's owner was managing the luxury tax line, not managing a legacy. The front office let him walk rather than pay to keep the core together. Thompson reportedly turned down a bigger offer from the Lakers and instead signed with Dallas on a 3-year, $50 million deal, part of a 6-team sign and trade so large it touched roughly a fifth of the entire league. That was supposed to be his next chapter. It hasn't gone that way. Dallas shocked the league by trading its own franchise player, Luka Doncic, to the Lakers mid-season, blowing up the exact roster Thompson thought he was joining. This past season, Thompson posted career lows across the board, 11.7 points a game off the bench, for the first time in 13 seasons as a pro. Dallas finished 26-56. No playoffs. Still, at 36 years old, he shot 38.3% from 3 last season. That number matters because it means this isn't a washed player getting dumped. It's a player who can still help a real contender on a roster that no longer has a use for him. Now, here's the reveal that actually explains why this is happening right now. The general manager who traded Doncic was fired back in November. Dallas brought in Masai Ujiri, the same executive who won a championship as Toronto's president back in 2019, to clean up what was left. And one of the very first things the new front office is doing is shopping the player who came back in that same Doncic-era trade chain. Thompson isn't caught in someone else's disaster anymore. He's now the trade chip in the disaster's aftermath, and Dallas has made its intentions clear. NBA reporter Brett Siegel reported the Mavericks, quote, do not hold interest in buying Thompson out and want to turn his expiring contract into something of value, whether it be second-round draft assets or something else. The same report says Thompson and the team haven't even discussed a buyout as an option. This isn't a team trying to get rid of a problem quietly. It's a front office trying to extract something for a player it inherited from a decision it didn't make. Thompson has been direct about what he wants next. On a live stream in mid-August, he said it plainly, I want to compete for a championship, not necessarily win one. Have the chance to go and try and get another one. He added that playing a real role on a team that can make a deep playoff run this season or next is really his only goal now. Months earlier, at a fan event, he'd been more guarded about Golden State specifically, saying only, it'd be nice to end it in Golden State and never say no, never. The mid-August comment is the closest he's come to naming what he's actually chasing. So, who actually wants him? Miami has reportedly set aside part of their salary cap exception specifically to sign him, and insiders say a trade built around Heat forward Nikola Jovic has circulated for weeks. NBA reporter Jake Fisher described it as, quote, some type of buzz, framework, whatever, that's been floating around Heat and Mavericks personnel without ever closing. Part of why Miami's math keeps shifting traces back to a much bigger trade the Heat just made. In July, Miami sent a package including Tyler Herro, 2 future first-round picks, and more to Milwaukee for superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. That deal reshaped the Heat's entire cap sheet. And it shows in the reporting, the exact dollar figure Miami has set aside for Thompson has shifted 3 separate times this month, from around $8 million down to $7 million, down to $6.5 million. A small tell that Miami's own roster math keeps moving underneath this story, and it's moving in the wrong direction. And here's the complication nobody's saying loudly enough. Even with money set aside, Miami's own beat reporters think a Klay trade is unlikely. Heat insider Ethan Skolnick put it bluntly. He said he'd be very surprised if Miami actually trades for Klay at all. The Lakers are the other real thread. One analysis floated a specific package built around role players Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Knecht, plus a future first-round pick, though that's an analyst's proposal, not a concrete offer from either front office. Still, it's the most concrete Lakers scenario reported anywhere, and that brings you back to Golden State, the team this whole story is supposed to end with. Here's the part almost nobody's talking about, and it changes how you should read this entire situation. The Warriors just gave Draymond Green a new 1-year deal worth nearly $28 million. That contract reportedly pushed Golden State's payroll over the NBA's first hard cap apron. And once a team crosses that line, the rules say it cannot sign a player who was bought out of a contract worth more than roughly $15 million. Thompson's current salary is over $17 million. Read that again. Under the cap rules as currently reported, Golden State literally cannot just buy him out and bring him home. The only door left open is a trade, and Dallas has already said it wants real value back, not a sentimental favor. And Dallas isn't even desperate to move him for the money. Reports put the Mavericks only about $2.5 million from the luxury tax line, meaning this isn't a financial fire sale. The new front office wants draft compensation for Thompson's expiring contract on principle, not because they need the cap space. Dallas has to get its roster down to 15 players by October 19th. The real NBA trade deadline isn't until February 11th, 2027. That's a long window for a 36-year-old to sit and wait on a team that's already moved on. Think about the timeline here for a second. This is a player who once lost 2.5 full seasons to a torn ACL and a torn Achilles back-to-back, and still fought his way back to a 4th championship. He is not short on proof that he can survive a setback. What he doesn't have is time. Every month this drags out is a month closer to a season he can't get back. So here's where it actually stands. Miami's own people are skeptical of their own reported trade. The Lakers' interest is real, but still just a proposed package, not a done deal. And the team fans assume as the obvious answer might be structurally locked out of the one move that would make it simple. A 4-time champion who's already lost 2.5 seasons to injury has to find out whether his last real shot at one more ring comes from a team that isn't even sure it wants the trade, a team he'd have to force his way into, or a team that might not legally be allowed to bring him home at all.